Juan-o's world.
My baby mama trippin', she been going through my phone. Tired of me cheating, I can't leave these hoes alone. Hella pics, hella tips on my cash app. It's like hold up a minute.
All right. Not the right price, not the right conversation right now. I got a big podcast to do with my man Juan-o, so tune in and you can see what we trying to build on. It's catching a fire. It's gonna really roof is on fire. We don't need no water. Let that motherfucker burn. You heard? All right. I hit you back.
Hey, how you doing? I want to welcome you to a very, very special episode of Juan-o's World. Now, tonight we're doing something a little bit different. Now, what you may not know is Juan-o know a lot of different type of people. Juan-o knows a lot of different people that's done a lot of things, a lot of different people going through a lot of things. And tonight, I want to bring somebody very special to me, very special to what it is that I've built here, a very important factor into the Juan-o infrastructure. Go back with me to days of me doing things illegally. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna welcome Miss Mika to the
Hi,
platform. How you doing?
how are you? I'm fine. Good.
I'm all right. My melanated beauty.
Thank you.
How's your evening going?
It's going. It's
It
going
is.
well. Friendsgiving today with my best friends, and it was pretty much like my send off.
Yo, send off.
Yeah, so I turn myself in tomorrow.
Turn yourself into who? You under pimp arrest?
Definitely not. Can you really nurture something when you're in survival mode?
Kind of. If you willing to recognize, if you can recognize that you need these things that you nurture for survival, then yeah. But if you don't, if you keep thinking what you're doing at that moment is what you need for survival, then nah, because what you need for survival is always going to evolve, especially if you're surviving. You know? So being able to nurture the next thing, that's a tough one.
And I only say that because I'm a woman, and of course, we are nurturers. So
You're a born woman, right? So people gonna get mad. Like he had a real woman on his platform. Was it milk coming out?
it might be. It
It
might
might be.
I did breastfeed. So, however,
Respectable, commendable,
yeah.
appreciated.
But I asked you that question because, in my experience, you can't do both. You can't be a nurturer and a drug dealer. You gotta choose.
Yeah, things like that get hard. I tried to maintain both, and it got toxic to a point. You know, which you may know, it did get toxic to a point. Trying to maintain all, it got toxic to a point.
Yeah,
And you know, when you don't have balance, that's with anything. Without balance, there's gonna be toxicity.
yeah, absolutely.
All right. So bringing it back to you, so I wonder your situation with turning yourself in, is that something that you casually found yourself a part of, or is that a series of bad decisions, or was that what was it?
Mm. I would have to say casually found like honestly, it was like a boxed, wrapped up a gift with a bow on it, and it was set in my lap, literally. It
Now we
wasn't.
both know that's some bullshit, right?
No. I'm saying as far as the open invitation for me to even be, what led up to this point. So I have to go with casually out of all the options you gave me. Casually, it was. I didn't really have to go too far to. I It was easy for me to get locked. It was
Right, get
so
get
easy.
locked in, getting locked up. Yeah.
Yeah. So casually, yeah. But yeah.
And that's why I wanted to point that out because this is something that we learned together is you would rather have the bullshit happen to you up front.
Man, what?
And typically,
And that's
typically typically when things come to you gift wrapped and ready,
it's some bullshit. And yep, it was some. And one, I didn't make a mistake. For one, I didn't make no mistakes. I'm not a victim. I don't feel like I'm a victim at all.
That's important that's important to hear a woman say that.
Yeah, it sounds good in the courtroom, but if I got to be realistic about it, no, I'm a victim. I um honestly, I feel like I was the brain for the most part. I just desperation can kind of overshadow a lot of things. So not to mention when you feel like you're just so good at something, or you did something more than one, two, or three times, and
Gee whiz, this is really getting me because we learned some of these rules together. And desperation is a word that sticks out like a motherfucker. And you know when the
because
word
that I was blindsided. Like I mean, and when I say I'm literally saying I go off gut. My gut then saved us
right.
times, and I don't know. I had a few coattail, like my coattail got pulled way too many times that day prior to or up into what I'm saying, things going left. I knew I got the A no,
And from your training, you know
and I went against everything, and
you're
that yeah.
supposed to cut bait. You know what I'm saying? If it's any obstructions.
So that's why I say desperation, because I can't give you no other reason why, because just what you just said, your training, you know better. I just told you I feel like I'm not in line, I'm in front. Even if I am in line, I'm in top three. Ain't nobody, it ain't too many people giving me orders. It's on maybe one or two about that.
But and that's to give you your respect. Anybody that you dealt with after you had a hand in building what you built is gonna automatically feel comfortable deferring to you based on your training.
To the
But
point, that's why I say it was casually presented to me, because people who knew me and knew, what I'm saying, who I am, they
right,
like, you know, everything, you got it. Your seven senses, not six. You got seven and eight.
right.
So that's why I say desperation, because I can't sit here and be like, oh, I ain't even know, I ain't feel it, I ain't know, I ain't see it coming type. I did.
So you ain't I could, and this is something that kind of got me because we've been in plays and we've called audibles.
Yes.
You didn't drop back as the quarterback and call. You didn't think about considering an audible, maybe a different means of transportation, maybe a different rodeo rider, maybe a anything.
That's my boobs are bigger right now. I know, cause my boobs bigger right now.
I seen it. I'm talking about, I
They
seen it.
bigger right
Now
now.
y'all talking about boobs. I heard that shit clear.
He already clear as they look. Audio is good. Speakers
Most
are
definitely, this Juan-o's world, baby. We know everything is good, and some things is better.
I like that question. That was a good question.
About
So,
calling the audible,
huh?
about calling the audible or changing the play.
You and you already know I went to the conference room, break room, team meeting. That's me, right? So this is the things that I'm seeing while I'm out there seeing shit. I'm bringing it back home. Listen, this, I'm bringing the feedback, but I'm feeling like I done been around. You gonna have somebody out the circle. If it's me and it's five other guys, you're gonna have one person out the circle that's gonna listen to me. But them other, they gonna be, she just, Well, really, I'm telling you what I'm telling you.
Right.
So,
And you know how we know when you call an audible, sometimes the coach and the motherfucking owner of the team, that's none of their business. You call an audible to make sure you get that touchdown.
exactly.
You ain't feel comfortable pulling that move.
Um, Yeah, I felt comfortable. But I called the move. Called the move play. Yeah, I was just a yard away. I yeah, I did everything I was supposed to do. It was just they was just 2 minutes before me. You know what I'm saying? That's it. By the
You
time I
know,
found out, I was probably like
that
a,
shit breaks my heart to see a
I was
play
probably
not come together.
I was a boarding pass too late. I was a layover too late. And you already know I was, and that's why I say, and you see, I can't leave desperation alone because
Cause a layover mean rental car and leave.
that's what I was on. That's why I said I was a yard away. You know, they there, they at the bottom of where I need to go,
Right.
and I'm her. I can get on. You can put me anywhere on any road. I'm gonna get where I need to be.
Right.
So I was already on that. It's in the discovery.
That's what and this is like this is where this get funny at with mixing ladies up in these type of situations because
Because
it's
listen to it, like if the person that was the person would have listened to me,
Mhm.
trusted in me and not just my position, I what I the loss that I took was nothing compared to, and it ain't had nothing to do with me and my situation. It was the domino effect.
Mhm.
That was nothing compared to what happened after I had already threw my towel in, returned my jersey. I don't
Right.
know, leave me the fuck alone. Stay away from me. Once I started, it was crazy because karmatically, it didn't take no time for me to hear about shit that happened that I had already complained about,
Right.
and it had happened like 10 times worse than what happened to me.
But you know how that go. Motherfuckers will assume you're a weak link and reach on
Yeah,
you and hit you first. And then when they see that you're not gonna fold, then they go with all the shit that you saw that you avoided on the rest of the
yeah.
squad. And
But it's
by
too
grace, huh?
it's too late. It's too late because now you get to use that as your defense because my situation been happening. I
Right.
was I was able to almost work it to where it was no expenses paid. You know, it didn't really affect nobody monetarily. So when everybody else, when the shit hit the fan with everybody else, now it's like shit. You can't even think about asking nobody or expecting nobody to do nothing because niggas is out of here. Niggas got to go enroll in college and probably truck driving school at this point.
I
So
make the jokes. That was a good one though. That was a damn good one.
because how much who like how can you compare the money that like you ain't no the type of people they is they can you can't just get a regular job. You know what I'm saying? You can't they're not gonna listen to any and everybody. They're not gonna take an order. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Which is some shit I had to learn the hard way. You know, some people don't know, but my first job after I retired from the game was a $9 an hour job, and that shit was hard pulling up in my 9.6 Impala on my 22s with the sounds banging. That's a whole nother story. We ain't about to talk about me going legit. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It's hard to take them orders. You know what I'm saying?
when
But
you get orders, you can't take them. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like being demoted. No, you know.
this is I'm glad you just called me out on that. A man should never be involved in this feeling. Now, rightfully so, I spent 10, 12, I say about somewhere between 8 and 10 years selling drugs. For sure, 8 hardcore selling drugs, no job, no nothing. And when things went different, I thought the couple of $100,000 I had in money and whatever was enough. But truth be told, I was down there broke in 11 months and I didn't necessarily have a plan. So understanding what I should have been doing and what I'm supposed to do for myself is two different things. And some of these things are not things that we had an opportunity to learn. You first generation being the one with $1,000 in your purse. I'm first generation with owning a home, which is one of the things that we should. So in
First generation not having a not being a teenage mom. You know what I'm saying? Like first generation walking across the stage,
Right.
first enrolling in the college. So it's like being a chameleon is a gift and a curse. So switching out the heels and putting on gym shoes, you gotta pick your lane, or you know what I'm saying. It's a price to pay if you don't pick. You can't do both. That's what I've learned. I'm 40 years old, and I've been able to play so many different roles, and
40 look good.
that's why I said it because I don't mind.
I want a 40.
40 is great. 40 is great.
Yeah, the nine, the nine.
A long time ago, if I was who I am now, like it,
I mean, you always been who you are. Just the
but
layers of the onions being peeled away.
okay, I'll be quiet. I'm gonna listen. Like
I
it,
mean, like, I don't necessarily like this for you. I don't want this for you. But
yeah,
a large portion of my relationship with you, which I'll be personal a little bit, is everybody. Me just jumping in trying to save. And it's like I can't this is one I can't save you from. I didn't even know about it till you was already in it. But we both know it would have been different if I knew about it when it happened. With that being said, this kind of sheds you away from some of them things that might have held you from applying all those same abilities to where
I
you need to apply them to.
definitely. And you spoke it into existence. That's confirmation because I just had this conversation earlier with my mentor, and pretty much that's what she basically said. Like, pretty much just give you a minute. You,
Hmm.
I've never had a chance to just solely just focus on myself. It was always me and everybody else, whether it was my mom, my kids, everybody. Like it was always something that somebody could come to me and leave with. They
Now
could
let
leave.
me ask you, as being a female from a similar background as myself, where you run into immediate responsibility, you run into immediate obligation. Do you think you ever had the chance to be yourself or who you wanted to be?
No, I knew you want to. I can tell you when I lost my chance at being myself. When I
You
lost
remember,
being myself, for one, I'm the firstborn daughter. So you
right?
goes without saying, like I do have a big brother. I'm not the firstborn, but my big brother was 6 years older than me, and my mama was 14 when she had him. So he was out the house early just because he had to grow up so fast. And
Get that money.
yeah, he got out. He was gone. 12 years old. My brother was already gone. He was in
Had
the
to
shop.
get that money.
Yeah, so I'm six.
Right.
I say he's 6 years older than me. So it's like to me, I've always been the oldest. I've always been the oldest in the house because he was never there. But
Hmm.
for the most part, I lost my opportunity in the sixth grade. I went to Guest Middle School, and it was on at the time the original Guest. It was on Finkel and Myers. I think they moved it now or something, whatever. But everybody know the original Guest was on Finkel and Myers. So I went there. My grandma she stayed on Finkel and Sorrento. So
Hmm.
that was my mother's grandmother, my mother's grandmother. So my
Right.
great so she had a different type of structure and living, old school. Saturday morning we waking up, we cleaning up. Monday through Friday you getting up,
Ammonia in the
get
cleaning water.
breakfast. Ain't no cereal allowed in her house on
Right.
Monday through. You only can eat cereal on the weekends. So I feel like my upbringing and my background from strong women was there. Like I don't have an excuse but nothing that like a lot of people can say why they made the decisions I made. I don't have none of them because I came from good stock. But at the same time, I had to grow up fast for one.
Hmm.
So and then I've always been like real smart. I at 14 my mama had her son. So at 5 years old, from 5 to 10, I said I already knew I wasn't gonna have a lot of kids and I wasn't gonna have a kid young.
Right.
So
And you
that was
sleep on that.
I knew that at 5 years old in kindergarten.
But you weren't doing no democratic deletions. You was being responsible, right?
Oh, yeah. But
I
at
got a point.
felt like couldn't do that too young in my life because I saw how hard it was for her. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
But I was still young. When I had my baby, my son, I was 20. So to me, that's still young. I just wasn't a teenage mom. I made the buy hair, whatever. But that's still young. Like you
Hey,
still
to be honest with you, anything under 40, you damn near ain't prepared for nothing that's coming out of kids' mouth. Nothing they got to, and that
what?
I,
With a 5-year-old, I'm not ready. Like you're never ready.
you never ready.
Born more advanced than you. They're already equipped for the world that you still trying to figure out. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So you never ready. Yeah.
Right. Some of these young parents might have a better relationship with their kid because they still stupid. Oh shit, I said that out loud.
Oh yeah, you have to be their friend order until it backfire. Yeah. And now you got to square up with your kid type. You know what I'm saying? Nah.
So let me ask you this. When it comes down to, I can understand you doing business with me,
Mhm.
but involving yourself in dangerous things overall, how does that go for a young lady? How do you use your discernment
All right. Um. Good
or
question.
desperation number one?
Desperation was just this last time, because mind you, I'm 40. That happened 2 or 3 years ago, so I still feel like over 35 is too old for me to make that choice. But prior to that, mind you, I met you in my 20s, early 20s. Like, I came from that.
Right.
Daddy, Dexter, mama from Linwood. That was my environment. But at the same time, I still had an advantage. Like I was telling you, when I lost my spot being moved on Finco with my grandma, who was strict, ain't no coming off the porch, like you can't play with the kids in the type of neighborhood. If I would have stayed there with her, I would have went to college and had a different type of life. I know that because everybody, all my cousins that came out of that house, that's what it was. That's just pretty much.
Which
So,
was shocking. Go
huh?
ahead. I say
And
all that was a little shocking for me because even with doing certain things, that was what I introduced you to. And when it came to even doing illegalities, your version of illegalities was very different than mine.
right, yeah.
And so to hear you mixed up in one of these outside of me was kind of like, whoa.
Now let's be clear. I never agreed to. Look, I'm thinking. I never agreed
I got edit power. That was yeah,
because
yeah,
listen, I would have went in that bag. It would have been nothing to be like, I'm
yeah.
enough.
See, can I let me share something with you? You have a moral compass.
And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
You have a moral compass. The thing about having a moral compass is people around you can see you have a moral compass and they don't have to know what you will or won't do. But at the same time, you having a moral compass tells them what you will and won't do because you've already been standing on it, whether it was good or bad for it. And
Yeah.
this is where shit gets a little bit
So
funny at.
it was used against me and as a weakness, not a strength. You know what I'm saying? So you could have told
Go
me.
back to me ending up into it with the gangster granddads earlier.
But listen, like you could have told me what it was. You could have told me what it was. Had you told me what it was, I definitely wouldn't have got on the plane. But I would have showed you another option on how to get done.
All right.
How
But you
you
know how that is. Motherfuckers get, and this is one thing that me and you used to get into it about. Just because you got the ability to do something, don't mean that I'm supposed to get drunk or thirsty or greedy with. And motherfuckers did that. And this is where it gets funny at where somebody like me,
wanna know? You wanna know what I got out of that situation?
I'm listening.
The reason why I got so far and so close to you, and the reason why what I said to you, I played my role. That I showed up when it was time to go to work. That was that. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like that was just that.
Somebody watching you with the abilities that you have, for them to close their ear to you is a discredit to themselves.
The only reason why I say, okay, prime
You know
example.
what I'm saying? Like somebody cheating themselves by not listening to you.
You want to know perfect example? Perfect
Yeah.
example. My credibility with you at work, you know what I'm saying? What you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? You'll go against up against everybody.
Right.
But At the same time, the person who I had that connection with, who brought me the gift wrap box with the bow on it, is like a homeboy brother type thing, right? But he know my credibility and he trusts me like that. He know me enough to be able to turn me on to these like, so he ain't in the circle. He ain't a part of the team. The person who know who I really am, they just riding off of his word.
Right.
But his word carries so much weight that they trust, they trust it is what it is.
And that's what I'm saying to you. Like it has nothing to do with you. With those abilities, those facts, that understanding being understood amongst men, no matter what your relationship is, right? There's a certain amount of care, appreciation, and consideration that's supposed to go to having a bishop or a knight or a rook on the chessboard,
Agree.
especially one that's already been trained.
But I
Go ahead.
just telling you, if if you here and you ain't never got to go there, and all you can go off of is when I get back and I'm like, yo, do you know this is and that going on? You think that's cool? Like this and that was sloppy. I don't like that. You know me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, pick apart everything and everybody.
Right.
I'm coming back and I'm chewing your head off because don't
Right.
play with my life. You know what I'm saying? So
And that's
now
what I'm saying. Like as a leader, what no matter what somebody's relationship with you is, if they doing their part and that's what they got to say, you kind of supposed to at least look into or check into that.
this is why I feel like at the end of the day, I don't really feel like it was nothing I did. Like
We
you
already been through this. We
you
we heard a nigga use that word disposable before.
yeah, and that's what I was about to say. I talked to my mentor not too long ago. She said the same thing. Like, girl, you ain't make no mistakes. That was somebody being able to. They've been working with them people, and they needed you. You know, you was collateral damage, so you just pretty much confirmed everything. The conversation I just had when I couldn't talk to you, I was talking to her. So
Right. And that's what I mean, I can't necessarily certify that part, but people that's openly moving sloppy, they typically already compromised and they know it.
then, you know me, I got to think back on times where we both knew situations was sloppy and crazy, and then guess what? It was
Mhm.
people was on all kind of extra drugs doing. Mind you, I ain't in a circle like this to be able to walk in a house where I gotta clean up and I see this shit.
Right.
You know what I'm
But
saying? But I know what's. You know what I'm saying? I done been in them situations though to know once the niggas get so up there, they be on. You know, they ain't just like me and you. You know, so I'm taking all these things in consideration because niggas is showing me the same
mood swings, how motherfuckers respond.
vibes, them same, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I had a partner that got turned out on that shit, and I didn't necessarily notice it at that point. Yeah,
it said
you
you
know,
ain't my lips. I said, you know what I'm saying? So I'm picked by the time I picked up on it, like I told you. By the time I picked up on it, I'm like, all right,
Cash. Let me hit you right back.
things working out. I'm almost to the finish line. And shit, it cost for my, you know what I'm saying? It cost for him to be on campus. That shit was like $7,000, $7,500 a semester. So
You shot that shot.
it was always that one more. But like I said, the one prior to that one, I should have quit. I should have threw in the towel. Niggas showed me they hand. Niggas showed me who they was way before, a month before that shit happened where I came in contact with.
So
So,
that's the number one point right there.
you know what I'm saying? Because I knew what was up. I knew what was up. But I was so desperate to make sure I'm damn near like,
Paying that college tuition.
they didn't set it off, but I ain't had to take my clothes off types. Like, you
Right.
know, I'm selling my soul. I know I'm working with the devil, but I still ain't going. I'm still gonna work for this nigga because I need to get this shit done. Because what's on the other side is bigger than me. It was bigger than me, so I was willing to take that chance.
Right.
That's all I can tell you, really.
But it ain't like Jada, because at least your child was actually in college. He actually got accepted. He actually was
He
in.
definitely he graduate next year. So
Right. So
I,
this is a little bit different. It's a little bit different.
at the end of the day, it's like I can really, you know what I'm saying? I can go in that courtroom and hold my head high because for the for the this a situation happened in 2022. It'll be 2025 next month. And throughout this whole time, he hasn't had to stop going to school not one time.
Right.
So if we weigh the pros with the cons, I did what I was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? I just bust my head while I was doing it, but I did it. It's what's messed up because I do regret it because I'm about to be taken away from my smaller kids. He grown, but he's
Right.
the only, you know what I'm saying? So it was like I was focused on him. I felt like he mattered the most. He'd be the first person to walk across a college, graduating from a university, becoming an engineer. Nobody has done that in my family. You know what I'm saying? So he's coming from a single mom, and he was able to do that. So, but I got two little girls. You know, now they 4 and 5. They need the nurturing that I was telling you about, and I was saying, you know, you cannot do both. How can I nurture them and get in the streets for him?
Right.
I,
It gets a little funny, but see, this is where family comes in because everybody fucked up, and now I gotta go one on. It's a generation before you that didn't do what they were supposed to do. That's dying to do what they can
I'm
do. You know?
we gonna break it. Like the curse already broke with me. Like I
Right.
said, it's
And
it's
that's so like this not a time where you beat down on yourself. It's a time where, like you pointed out, you never had the time to sit back and see what it was for you, think
yeah,
without pressure. You know what I'm saying? Your mother is in more of a position to help you with your younger kids than she was to help you with your older kids.
and she
You know what
was.
I'm saying? Not
Um,
only that, with you being the type of person you are, if you wasn't in this situation and none of this had happened, would you be sitting back? No. You'll probably still be going hard trying to bite a brick.
so
And
slow me down, this bullet.
but I don't necessarily look at it as a slowdown. I look at it as a regather because you're not
No,
gonna
what take me out of that element of survival because now I know what it is. I know the difference. Like I found the difference of survival mode and wanting to just live. Like I'm at peace with just being able to plan something out or be patient with something. Like a part of being in that life and in that lane is we need everything fast. I don't wanna wait for nothing. I need it fast. You know what I'm saying? What's
yeah,
what's the
yeah.
rush? If I gotta, we can't go back in time. Am I lying?
No,
Stop
I
me.
mean it ain't even so much of a I need most of that I need ain't even I need.
I
It's
mean,
more of a situation.
I want. Yeah, or
Yeah.
not even I want. I require and I demand.
It's a situation that existed before you. The
Yeah,
whole I need right now is something that was already a problem before you was in a position to ask or
yeah,
position to get. And
yeah.
that's where the shit get funny at. So the whole I need right now, that's something that has DNA carries memory. So every time your mother or your grandmother couldn't do, that shit is in your DNA. So your I is dependent upon how much they couldn't.
Right. And that's a lot of work.
And most definitely. And some of us get lost in that shit because it's like, well, mama got a nice car, mama got a nice job. But what you forget is within your DNA is all them times she couldn't. Same thing as daddy, you know? So I don't misunderstand. I don't misjudge. I get it. And then I do understand like what's going on now. And I do appreciate because you never get to hear women being accountable. But you just gave me this whole conversation without you not blaming nobody. I want to blame some people for you.
Nah.
I'm not. I'm already in enough shit with the gangster granddads. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be cool.
And not only that, one, I'm not even that naive or yeah. I orchestrate shit.
Arching
I,
backs.
look, when you orchestrate shit, you cannot play a victim. Like you cannot play like you know. So it's like I can't like for the life of me, like you that moral compass you keep talking about. I want to rip that shit up out of me right now. How about that? Because that shit really is a curse, like a gift and a curse. Why everybody else don't have that? You know what I'm saying? If everybody else had this moral compass,
To be
I
honest,
would.
I think it's and this is one thing that we shared. I think is where we apply it to. You know what I'm saying? First of all, being able to recognize in verbiage how the verbiage that it's your moral compass, and then being able to understand that it's where you're applying it to you to these situations. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect, myself included. Sometimes once I made my first 20 or 30 thousand dollars, at the time I made it, I could have looked at other things to do with that money, but I didn't. I allowed pressure to make me look past what else I could have did. And I would imagine you masterminded a couple things, you touched some lump sums, and you probably took that money and took care of what was going on instead of investing in what would take care of you.
And I exactly that, to the point to where nobody even knew what I was doing till the U.S. Marshal came to my door. My wardrobe never changed. I didn't do that shit for clout. I didn't do that shit to buy bags. I did that shit solely to take care of a goal. Like, of course, they want you to tell. They want you to talk. Oh my God,
You didn't do none of that.
you a fool. Like, do you understand the tapping on
Yeah.
not even
Just
back for me to just be accountable? Like, being accountable saved my life. Be accountable took shaved off 9 years off the prison sentence that I should be doing right now.
yeah, because you would have got the snitching. You might have been wrapped up in the indictment that was coming, superseding indictment that they was already building.
Me snitching would have took it federal. It's not even federal. It should be. You
Right,
know what I'm saying? And I
right.
had people literally talking to me like, you got to understand, being a woman, we still emotional creatures. So I got people who are credible and who can say the shit that you included, can say the things that they say to me, like what, how, why, how, you know what I'm saying? Why didn't you come? You know, all the why didn't you come? All of that. I heard it all. And it was like, at the end of the day, it was like, you know what?
Well,
All
I
I
don't even tell you to be no rat-a-tat-tooey.
No, I never. No, nah, we gonna be on that.
Right.
Anytime the conversation got heated to where somebody, you, I didn't even been stupid. You know what I'm saying? You stupid. Why the fuck you do that? You
Yeah.
nigga play you like a mule. You ain't making enough. Mind you, I never signed up for whatever what was because that moral compass, and not only, I can't even blame solely the moral compass. Uh, the way I
You
was.
ain't want to know, so you ain't had that on your conscience.
Exactly. And not to mention, this. I've been in an interrogation room before,
Right,
and so I know what it is to know and not know when you
right.
don't know. You know what I'm saying?
You passed a lie detector test.
Yeah, exactly. Because I truly didn't know. I
You
truly
didn't know, right?
I
So
didn't
you prepared.
all those questions, and it was true because I did not. You know what I'm saying? So, but that was the thing. What I agreed to and what I was told was in that bag was nowhere near to what was in that bag.
Right,
So, but at the same time, do that give me the right to go against what I agreed to? Because niggas didn't lie to me, right?
right. They did.
And you should be paying me way more.
Right,
Now that I know what's in this bag, nigga, where's my cut? Y'all
right,
sure
right.
for that shit happened to me? Do you know I spent the night in the airport in Chicago thinking it's only bones and it's bricks? Do you know what could have happened to me in that airport? Field goals. So how many times I done saved niggas? Mind you, I'm not sleeping with none of these niggas. I don't give a fuck about these niggas. So once I find out, I'm like, oh yeah, y'all niggas something gotta give.
Because it's supposed to be a respect there.
Yeah, and not to mention, y'all saw my capabilities to be able to fix incidentals to where I was able to recover.
But as we see, some people ain't meant to be in that position, and they just taking advantage of being in that position of having access.
And karmatically, like I say, I was a small fry. What I went through in less than 30 days, I wiped out, and it had nothing to do with me.
This is why I have a problem with women dating motherfuckers and all type of shit. Because you could just
But
went to
what
dinner with a dude a couple of times to be wrapped up in a indictment. I caught a lot of flack for how I did things when I ran my own crew. But truth be told, everybody was more protected working for me than they could have ever understood, which is things that they learned after not working for me.
I know that now.
Yeah. So I dealt with a lot of people, you included, being upset with me, like, you know.
That run was a different type of run.
It was love, and like I wanted my shit, like I wanted to win. Man, I wanted to win.
Not only did you want to win, I saw the win. It was definitely there to be won. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm telling you, as me being a woman, I'm telling everyone.
Go ahead.
Don't do it. Like, I don't care what it's for. Like, don't do it. Don't do it. I don't care if you gotta go to nail school. I don't care if you gotta go to hair school. It's nothing like that. Life is that life.
Juan-o's world. My baby mama trippin', she been going through my phone. Tired of me cheating, I can't leave these hoes alone. Hella pics, hella tips on my cash app. It's like, hold up a minute.